Have you ever felt like the rules of life are keeping you small? Today's story is about a man who looked at the night sky and found a secret loophole that allowed him to own the moon.
The moon? You mean Dennis Hope?
I've heard he became a millionaire by selling lunar land. But Clara, is that even legal? Is it even possible? It's more than possible, Leo. It's a lesson in limitless thinking. Welcome to the Edutainment Podcast. I'm Clara, your guide to healing stories.
And I'm Leo, here to learn and ask the questions you're thinking. We're here to help you improve your English listening while inspiring your mind.
Today, we dive into the life of Dennis Hope. But before we begin, if you love healing stories like this, please subscribe and join our community. Your support really helps us grow.
And don't forget to check the description for the transcript and vocabulary words. Ready to travel to the year 1980, Clara?
Ready. Take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin. To truly understand this story, we have to travel back to the year 1980. Imagine the scene, Leo. It's a cold night. A man named Dennis Hope is sitting in his car. He is exhausted. His life feels like a broken mirror. He just lost his job, he's going through a painful divorce, and his bank account is almost empty.
Oh, I can feel that, Clara. That feeling when you're sitting in your car and the world feels too heavy. Everything is falling apart. What was he thinking in that moment?
He was looking for a sign. He looked through his windshield and saw the moon, huge, bright, and silver. And in that moment of darkness, he didn't see a rock in space. He saw a solution. He thought, there's so much land up there, millions of miles of land, and nobody is using it.
But Clara, that's a crazy thought. I mean, when I'm broke, I think about finding a $20 bill on the street, not owning a planet.
That's the difference, Leo. Dennis had a unique mind. He went to the local library the next morning. Imagine him sitting at a wooden table, surrounded by old law books. He was looking for the rules of the universe. And that's when he discovered the Outer Space Treaty of 1967.
Okay, let's explain this treaty to our listeners. It sounds like something from a movie.
It was a real agreement between countries like the US and the Soviet Union. It said no country can claim the moon. But Dennis read every single word carefully. He noticed a loophole. The treaty said no nation can own the moon, but it was completely silent about individuals.
So it's like a sign that says no cars allowed, so Dennis decided to ride a bicycle?
Exactly. He thought, I am a person, not a nation. So Dennis sat down and wrote a formal letter to the United Nations in New York.
Imagine the person opening that mail at the UN. Sir, some guy named Dennis says he owns the moon. What do we do?
They probably thought it was a joke. He told them, I am claiming the moon and 8 other planets. Please give me a legal reason why I cannot do this. And he waited. Weeks. Then months.
And nothing?
Total silence. Silence can be a very powerful thing, Leo. In law, if you claim something and no one objects, sometimes you can keep it. So Dennis said, okay, the moon is mine. He created the Lunar Embassy and started making lunar deeds.
A deed is like a contract that says you own a house, right?
Exactly. He started selling 1 acre of the moon for about $20. People thought he was a dreamer. But then the idea of owning a piece of the moon felt like an escape.
So it wasn't just about the money. It was about owning a piece of a dream.
Yes, and the business exploded. He sold land to famous actors, huge companies, and even 3 former U.S. presidents. A man who was broke in his car is now selling land to the most powerful people on Earth.
It's mind-blowing. But I have to ask, is it real? I mean, can I go there and build a fence?
Not yet. And maybe never. But Dennis didn't have a rocket. He had a vision. He found a loophole in the way we think about possibility. I think I'm starting to see why you chose this story, Clara. It's not about the moon. It's about the boundaries we put in our own minds.
Now, Leo, let's go deeper. We aren't just talking about a man and a moon today. We are talking about the invisible fences we build around our own lives.
Invisible fences? You mean like things we tell ourselves we can't do?
Exactly. Think about our listeners who are learning English right now. How many times have you said to yourself, I will never sound like a native speaker? Or, I am too old to learn this. Or, my grammar is too messy.
Oh, I hear that all the time, Clara. It's like we have a little voice in our head that is a very strict judge. It says, nope, you can't go there. That's not for you.
That judge is the treaty we signed with our own fear. Dennis Hope looked at a law that everyone thought was a no, and he found the yes hidden inside. In life, we often see a no, and we just stop walking. We don't even try to push the door to see if it's unlocked. So, if I'm learning English and I make a mistake, I shouldn't see it as a wall. I should see it as a loophole? Precisely. A mistake is just a piece of information. It's a sign that says, try a different path. Dennis Hope was at a low point, divorced, broke, and lost. Most people would say his life was over, but he used his imagination to create a new reality.
I love that. It's about resilience. But Clara, it's hard to be like Dennis when you feel tired or discouraged. How do we start thinking limitless?
It starts with a very simple question, Leo. The most powerful question in the English language. What if?
What if I actually can give this presentation in English? What if I am smart enough to get that scholarship?
Yes. When you say, what if, you stop being a victim of your situation, and you become a creator. Dennis asked, what if I own the moon? And it changed his bank account. But if you ask, what if I am already enough? It changes your heart. That is the healing part of the story.
You know, Clara, this reminds me of how we treat our dreams. We wait for someone to give us a deed or permission to start. We wait for a yes from the world.
But the truth is, Leo, nobody is coming to give you a deed to your dreams. You have to write it yourself. Just like Dennis didn't wait for the UN to say yes, he acted as if the answer was already yes.
That's a big shift in mindset. It's moving from, I hope they let me, to, I am doing this.
Exactly. And for our listeners, every time you listen to a podcast like this, even if you don't understand every word, you are taking a step on your own moon. You are claiming your space in a new language. You are being brave.
I feel so much more energized now. It's like we all have a little lunar embassy inside us, a place where we can imagine a bigger life.
We do. And as you go about your day, I want you to look at your challenges. Don't look for the wall. Look for the loophole. Look for the small opening where you can slip through and find your success.
That is beautiful, Clara. I think we all needed to hear that. Our potential isn't limited by our past or our mistakes. It's as infinite as the night sky.
Now we come to our favorite part of the episode, the vocabulary spotlight. Learning a language is like building a house. You need strong materials. Today, we have selected words that will help you sound more sophisticated and precise.
I'm ready, Clara. I noticed some very expensive sounding words in today's story. Let's start with the one that started it all.
The first word is loophole. L-O-O-P-H-O-L-E. It's a B2 level word.
A loophole is a small mistake or a missing piece in a set of rules that allows you to avoid them. Context: Dennis found a legal loophole in the space treaty.
Oh, like when my mom says no sweets before dinner, but she didn't say anything about after lunch? Is that a loophole?
Exactly, Leo. You found a loophole in your mom's law. Next, we have claim. C-L-A-I-M. This is a B1 word. To claim something means to say that it belongs to you. Context: he decided to claim the moon as his property. And what about the UN's silence? It was ambiguous. A-M-B-I-G-U-O-U-S. If something is ambiguous, it is not clear. It can be understood in more than one way.
So if I ask a girl on a date and she says maybe, that's an ambiguous answer?
Very ambiguous, Leo. It's neither a yes nor a no. Now, let's look at the emotional words. Dennis was exhausted. We all know tired, but exhausted means your energy is completely gone, physically and mentally. But he showed resilience. R-E-S-I-L-I-E-N-C-E. This is a beautiful B2 word. It's the ability to bounce back after something bad happens. Context: his story is a perfect example of human resilience.
I love that word. It feels like a superpower. I am practicing resilience every time I fail a grammar test, but keep studying.
That is exactly the spirit, Leo. And when you have resilience, you can overcome your fears and transform your life. Finally, our power words. Audacity. A-U-D-A-C-I-T-Y. This is a C1 word. It means a boldness that is so big it surprises people.
Is audacity always a good thing?
Not always, but in this story, it's about the courage to be unconventional. This means not doing what is normal or expected. Dennis was an unconventional businessman. And lastly, perspective. This is how you see the world. Just like your potential to learn this language, Leo, it is infinite.
Wow. Clara, that was a lot of great words. I feel like my brain just grew a few centimeters.
That's the goal. Listeners, try to pick just 2 of these words today. Write them in a comment below this video. We would love to see your unconventional sentences. As we finish our journey today, remember that Dennis Hope didn't have a map or a rocket. He only had his imagination and the courage to look for a yes when the world said no.
It's a powerful lesson, Clara. It makes me think about my own life. Maybe I don't need to own a planet, but I definitely need to own my dreams.
Exactly, Leo. And for you, our dear listener, we have a question to leave with you today. If you could claim any dream today, no matter how impossible it seems, what would it be?
We really want to know. Is it speaking English fluently, starting a new career, or maybe traveling the world? Write it in the comments. We read every single one.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next healing story. Your journey to better English and a calmer mind is just beginning.
Thank you for spending this time with us. It was a pleasure.
Stay bold, stay resilient, and keep looking at the stars. Goodbye for now.